Welcome to DeFi Expectations. Today we've got Brendan from Secret Network and Whisper Node. How you doing today?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not too much.
Good to have you today.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Brendan, can you share your background, what brought you into crypto and DeFi, and what eventually led you to Secret?
Sure. So back around 2016, I think it was, my co-founder and technical partner at Whisper Node, actually, Nick Hadjianis, a good friend of mine, was telling me about Ethereum and the power of smart contracts. And I remember back then being really intrigued and going on the website DApp Radar and just looking at all these little things that were being built on top of Ethereum and how it was this new use for blockchain and how it would unlock, a whole new world of functionality beyond Bitcoin, right? I had heard of Bitcoin on Silk Road and kind of people using it for nefarious purposes like that. But Ethereum really, piqued my interest in that you could have a lot of these programmable things built into the blockchain. And that really intrigued me. And I remember it was the ICO craze that came after this in 2017. But one thing I noticed was no one was addressing this problem of privacy for public blockchains. And it seemed like a need and a void that just needed to be filled. And that was what drew me to the Enigma project originally, which, if you don't know, is one of the development teams on Secret Network. They were originally Enigma, but there was a token swap and the network grew. Now it's completely decentralized, full of many different teams, validators, and parties, and it's become Secret Network.
I think it's pretty funny that so many people I still run into in this space first learned about it on Silk Road. That's how I first heard about Bitcoin.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess tell us about your history, like how you exactly like got to become a node as well. Like, can you tell everyone like what that means specifically in relation to crypto and in Secret Network?
Sure. So after that, introduction there, where I became interested in Enigma and therefore Secret Network, I had just become a huge part of the community. We have a great community at Secret Network, and I became a contributor, at first just for, no compensation or anything like that. I just enjoyed the community and contributing and doing small research projects for the team and things like that. And over time, I built up a reputation in the ecosystem, which when Secret Network spun up and there was a call for validators, I was able to leverage my reputation that I had built up kind of in that ecosystem and in that community to attract a lot of delegations after spinning up a validator node. And if you're unfamiliar with what a validator node does, I'm going to take a shot at this. This is where I always, it feels like being put on the spot every time, right? So, Bitcoin is a proof of work blockchain. So the miners on Bitcoin that are competing they're basically solving mathematical puzzles, right, to submit the next block to the chain. And they're using a lot of computing power to compete with one another to submit that next block to the chain and earn those mining rewards. Secret Network is a proof of stake network, which is a bit different. You don't need the immense amount of hash power or computing power. All validators, typically they just have to meet some minimum set of technical specifications. And then the way that the blocks are put up and validated are based on like a stake weight, right? So the amount of tokens that are delegated to your specific node.
And one of the things too, I've noticed when I'm staking, there's different percentages that are paid out. Is there a specific reason for that, or does each node operator get to decide on that?
Yeah, so as part of running the validator service, every validator has a different setup. Some are completely in the cloud, some run machines in data centers, actual hardware. Um, some have very complex key storage and protections like firewall protections, or we call them sentry nodes on our network. It essentially, hides the validator behind a whole nother layer of computers. So the validator itself is not communicating directly with the chain. And you do that for like DDoS protection and just obscuring your IP address and different things like this. But because the setups vary so much, obviously the cost to maintain that setup varies quite broadly as well. And therefore validators, will charge a different commission rate to their delegators for those setups.
How does Secret Network generate fees for the protocol?
Secret Network generates fees to pay the validators from inflation. There's a network inflation parameter that's set in the Cosmos SDK protocol. This can be changed through governance votes, as well as validators also earn a percentage of the transaction fees that are that go through the network.
Does a certain percentage, I guess, of the earnings go back to the overall infrastructure? Like back to the protocol to maintain infrastructure or anything like that?
It doesn't, no.
Okay, cool. Just wondering.
Now you had mentioned Cosmos. Can you kind of describe that a little more? Because Secret was actually one of the first things. Like I said, I had heard about Bitcoin back in 2012. I got in a little bit in 2017, and then the crash happened, and I was like, all right, screw this crap.
Yeah, I'm out.
And got back in basically like really early 2021. And one of the first things that I actually started doing was listening to the Gabriel Haynes show. And
Yep.
he had an interview with Red Phone Crypto where he mentioned you guys. And I think he had mentioned something called Tornado. Is that right? Have you heard of them?
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I've heard of Tornado Cash. Yep.
yeah, so that's how I heard about you guys. And then I started kind of investigating a little bit. So that was one of the very first things I kind of like jumped into. And one of the reasons I got into you guys first is because you were one of the first people actually making videos about how to do stuff. And I am not a big reader. Reading just doesn't compute for me, despite the fact that I'm a really good writer. My brain just doesn't work with the opposite direction. So, yeah, having someone actually, and I think it might have been you talking about how you stake on the bridge or how you bridge ETH. So that was the first thing I ever did. And I was like, I have no idea what this even means, but at least I know how to do it. So yeah, it was really nice to have someone actually like making videos. And there's not many people who do that. There's a little more now, but it's still like very, very confusing for someone who's new to get into all this stuff. So what made you guys kind of like get into doing the videos? Was that something you had planned? Is that something that you personally do?
Yeah, that's super interesting to hear actually. That thanks for watching. Yeah, so I actually come from like a videography background a little bit. I did a little bit of freelance video before the whole COVID thing happened.
Yeah, we were talking about the content there because you don't actually see a lot of people creating that level of content to educate their user base. And Robin was even telling me like, he had some questions and pretty much one of the head people just jumped in to answer his questions. It seems like you guys really have that part of your organization established very well, like the educational aspect. I guess just why do you think more protocols don't put time into that educational component?
Yeah, I think for Secret Network in particular, DeFi in general is complex, as you guys know, and crypto in general is very complex. Well, when you talk about Secret Network and you talk about adding like a privacy layer and additional privacy functionality on top of all that other stuff, well, then you're getting even more complicated. So education has been like a big focus for us. If people can't use your products, you're not going to retain any users You're not going to retain a community. You're not going to get usage of your products. So, you know, education and walkthrough videos of the products becomes very important.
Yeah, I completely agree. Do you guys have any competitors in the space that are trying to do something similar to you? I haven't seen a lot.
Back in 2017, Enigma was the only project that was addressing data privacy for public blockchains and for smart contracts. Looking into blockchain and, you know, Ethereum and smart contracts, what I realized is a lot of the applications that were coming out in white papers in 2017, well, you can't really build a lot of that stuff without having some privacy for some of the data that's going through the through the smart contracts. For example, you know, there's obviously the most basic use case, which is transactional privacy, right? I don't walk around every time I make a transaction at the store to buy a sandwich. Well, I don't broadcast that transaction to everyone I know or everyone I've ever paid or interacted with, right?
Right.
But we're okay with doing that on blockchain. And that's just the most basic use case. You know, when we start talking about, you know, if enterprises are ever going to adopt blockchain, or we're talking about things like building a decentralized Uber, well, I don't want everyone to know my home address, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a problem that stuck out to me as something that needed to be solved, and no one was solving it back in 2017. And you know, Secret Network is now the first privacy-preserving public blockchain ever, and there are some competitors now that are popping up and finally recognizing that this is a huge problem that needs to be solved. We've seen companies like Oasis. Oasis protocol is one. They claim to be doing something similar, but they've gone about it in a different way. And they actually don't have a privacy preserving parachain that's live yet. So they're, you know, they're competitors, but they've taken a different approach. There's Fala Network, which is on the Polkadot ecosystem. They're also claiming to use trusted execution environments to have data privacy, but I think their own roadmap said they're like 2 years behind in terms of like developing smart contracts that utilize those trusted execution environments. So even though there's some of these companies that are popping up and claiming to want to solve the same problem, in my eyes, Secret Network is light years ahead of them.
Excellent. I have a couple questions about like inherent challenges to the project as it relates to composability and regulation. So I'll start with the composability question. So well, I'm actually fairly new to this, so hopefully my question is one even I can understand. But so when you're working with, like, I'm understanding that the nodes themselves are not able to read the data that it's containing. Are you able to speak to a little bit about, like, are there any challenges to having your network set up that way? In other words, whether you're able to interact with other DeFi protocols, or like how does that even work? Like, can you describe that a little bit? Like how you're able to work in that secure of an environment and still identify separate accounts, or, you know, are there challenges that come to integrating with other networks because of the design of Secret Network?
Right. That's a really good question. I guess the challenge you're getting at with this question of composability would be, is Secret Network and the smart contracts that are run on the network able to communicate with other protocols in the DeFi space because of that composability issue? I think the question of composability here that we're talking about, when you're talking about interacting with other chains and other DeFi smart contracts and protocols, wouldn't necessarily be an issue with Secret Network. We do have privacy, but we call it programmable privacy, right? So there are public aspects in the network. For example, the secret token on the network is a public token, right? It is only certain data that's going into certain contracts that remains private. But you can kind of toggle on and off what you want to be private and what you want to be public. Tor always likes to use the analogy of a toothpaste bottle, right? So a lot of public blockchains, if privacy is equated to the toothpaste, right, or the data, a lot of the other chains, to brush your teeth, you kind of have to squeeze out a little bit of toothpaste and then you brush your teeth, but you can't put the toothpaste back in.
So it seems like the issue isn't so much like an issue of composability. It's just like the user has to say that they're allowing a feature, essentially. It's like
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So it would, yeah, I guess what I would say is that the composability is not an issue because while Secret Network allows for privacy, it has programmable privacy to where the developer building the application can decide what aspects are private and what aspects are public.
I like that. That makes a lot of sense. The other side of that relates to, I guess, regulation. Okay.
Yep.
So I'll kind of start it off kind of talking about it this way. So everyone deserves privacy, right? However, regulators often associate privacy with criminal activity, and then you have, we use KYC because we know your customer, we know they're not doing this and that, that's the argument, right? But how do you flip that conversation around that privacy is good when traditional finance just seems to see it as such a negative thing? And I guess, are there any roadblocks that kind of creates when trying to promote widespread adoption of the protocol?
That is another really good question. The way I view privacy in terms of regulation, one thing that comes to my mind always is something like GDPR, right? So GDPR theoretically is regulation, and that regulation is actually forcing tech companies to implement technical procedures to protect users, right? So that's a case where regulation's actually calling for privacy. And that's something Secret Network can help to solve, is something like GDPR. You can design an application with that regulation in mind and protect users' privacy and protect their data. So regulation, people tend to think about only one use case, and that's typically transactional privacy, but you're not taking into consideration like data privacy, right? Data privacy is actually huge. I mean, look at, Cambridge Analytica and Facebook and GDPR and a lot of these other things that are coming out. Those are privacy problems, and some of those problems are a case of over centralization. Blockchain and Secret Network seeks to encourage decentralization so a lot of those problems don't occur. And programmable privacy would allow application builders to be compliant with laws like GDPR. Another issue is, even with that transactional aspect, people typically think of Monero and those types of coins, and some of them have been delisted from exchanges due to privacy concerns and things like that. But Secret Network, with the programmable privacy thing again, and the way that it uses viewing keys, even with the transactional privacy piece of it, that's kind of this big no-no in terms of the regulators and things like that. The way Secret Network uses viewing keys offers developers a choice and a way to make compliant apps.
No, that makes sense. It seems like it puts the responsibility back on the user, which frankly is within the ethos of DeFi anyway. So that does make a lot of sense.
Yep.
Can you talk a little bit more about Keplr? Like the first time I had heard about Keplr Wallet was because of you guys as well. The only thing I had heard about at that point was MetaMask when it came to like really specific wallets.
Yep.
What made you guys choose that? And then also kind of related to that, is Secret built on Cosmos or is Secret its own thing? And like, does Cosmos kind of integrate everything? Is that like the purpose of it? I'm not too sure about Cosmos.
Sure. So Secret Network is built using the Cosmos SDK, and that uses Tendermint, which is it allows a chain to be spun up as its own layer one. So Secret Network is its own layer one chain, like an Ethereum, a Solana, a Polkadot, etc. But it uses the Cosmos SDK, which kind of has these like building blocks for building a blockchain, right? It has different components that are already pre-built that you can utilize, and it makes it pretty easy to spin up your own layer one chain. And then you can kind of use those Lego building blocks to build your own chain, add your own functionality. For example, Secret Network used that base Cosmos SDK, but implemented secret contracts into that, right? But the staking and governance and things like that were already pre-built modules that existed. So it made it a lot easier to spin up quickly and then to focus on what makes your chain unique. And that's what's so cool about Cosmos. It allows chains to spin up, but concentrate on what their unique value is. So you see all kinds of Cosmos chains spinning up with all different use cases. And then Cosmos's vision for the Cosmos ecosystem is that all of these specific use case chains will be able to speak to one another through something called IBC. And that's something that came out recently with the Stargate upgrade. All these layer one chains that are built on top of Cosmos using Cosmos SDK are being asked to upgrade and put this IBC, I believe it's a module, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but essentially what the IBC will do is allow these chains to communicate with one another. So any chain that was built using Cosmos SDK that does this upgrade and includes IBC will be able to communicate with each other cross-chain, which is amazing.
Can you tell me like a little bit about the secret wrapping process? I assume like you were talking earlier about how like the toothpaste thing, how you've got like the inner portion and then you got the outer portion. So like, I guess I've noticed like on the, or is it on the bridge for ETH, I believe that I'm earning secret.
Yep.
So is secret the reason, like you were saying, you have to actually take the public secret token and then wrap that in secret as well?
So as I mentioned, the secret token itself is public. How secret brings privacy to assets is it actually uses the secret contracts to bring that layer of privacy. So not only does it do that with its own token by wrapping secret into what we call secret, right? It creates this secret token, but you can wrap other assets like Ethereum assets. So you can have secret Ethereum, you can have secret Tether, you can have secret wrapped Bitcoin, etc. And how it does this is these are smart contracts where, as I mentioned, some of the data in that smart contract is kept private. So things like balances, transfers, where money is coming from, where it's going to, is kept private in that smart contract.
So like if I have secret or like secret Ethereum and I send that, like how do I even send that? Is that something that's like on an exchange as well? Like, would that be on Uniswap as well, or something like that?
So it wouldn't be on Uniswap. It would be on SecretSwap, which is its own product. You can swap assets on SecretSwap. They have to be the secret or wrapped versions of these tokens to work in SecretSwap. But essentially what you're doing is, if you wanted to bring an Ethereum asset over to Secret Network, right? So if you go to the bridge page, and you wanted to, let's say you're going to bring over your Ethereum, right? What you're literally doing is taking the balance of your Ethereum, the keys, that allow you to access these Ethereum tokens on the Ethereum chain. And what you're doing is sending them to a smart contract that is on the Secret Network. That's what this bridge does. So you're essentially putting the pool of Ethereum tokens, say you did, 1 Ether. You're sending 1 Ether to a smart contract on Secret Network, which keeps the balance private of all of the Ether that's sent to that smart contract. So you could send 1 Ether, I could send 1 Ether, DeFi Fry could send 1 Ether, and there would be 3 Ethereum in total in that smart contract, but the outside world wouldn't know like who the owners of each of those Ethereum is, right? And that's in a smart contract. And then what it's going to do is mint secret Ethereum for each Ethereum that is going into the smart contract. It's going to mint secret Ethereum on the other side of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So then, like, if you wanted to cash back out, I assume it just burns the secret.
Yep. If you cash back out, it's going to burn the secret wrapped Ethereum, and then it's going to issue you the Ethereum that was held kind of in escrow in the smart contract, right?
Is that considered like part of the liquidity?
Yes. Yes, it is. So if you go to like the assets page of the bridge, you'll see like a bridge TVL. Yep. So there's 110 million in TVL. That represents all of the ERC20 or Ethereum assets that are currently held in those smart contracts.
I have a question about actually interacting with the bridge and on this network. Do you feel like it's more efficient than Ethereum? I mean, are you paying the same gas fees there? What's it like actually dealing with this network?
Sure. So we all know Ethereum has had, its issues when it comes to gas and usability because of those issues. Once you get into the secret network, because it is a Cosmos SDK based chain and it is proof of stake, transactions are a lot cheaper. If you perform an action, it's usually like, I think 20 cents or so.
Oh, wow.
If you were to send a secret asset. What I will caveat that with, though, is if you are doing bridge interactions, like you're taking Ethereum into the network or you're wrapping things on Ethereum, or if you're going out of secret network into Ethereum, you're still having to interact with the Ethereum chain, right? So you're still going to pay those Ethereum fees if you're going over the bridge one way or another.
Were you guys able to see the Keplr wallet open up that I did, or no?
Yeah.
I did. I saw the low fees there.
Yeah.
20 cents per high.
Yeah. I think it was, it was 0.02. Yeah, the 20 cents for the high. So yeah, a little bit better than like $200 for ETH that it was like a week ago.
Yeah, just don't come back over the secret bridge back to Ethereum. That's where people get scared.
Yeah, I bet.
So we're creating our own little secret citadel, right? Like once you get into the citadel, you're in. You don't have any reason to leave. You're in safety. You have privacy. You have low fees. Just never go out of that citadel, and you're fine.
So like in relation to that though, what would someone do if they actually wanted to get some, fiat back?
Yeah.
A way to do that, like, or would they have to just go back through a centralized exchange apparently?
Probably if you knew you were going to fiat and you wanted to convert to fiat like in that moment in time, probably the cheapest way to do it, unless you're doing large amounts, would be take whatever asset it is. So let's say it's secret Ethereum. I would probably swap the secret Ethereum for secret using the swap page. And then I would use the conversion function in Keplr to convert the secret into regular secret.
But then to converting to fiat from there, you would still need to go to something like Binance and then cash out from them. And then you're still going to get reports from there, right?
Just for
Yeah,
our audience.
I like this. You guys are like really technical minded. I like it. I'm starting to get more into it here.
What would you say is the primary value statement, I guess, about Secret Network? Like, if you were just to tell somebody, like, what's the reason they need to get on Secret Network right now? What would you say is the reason?
I mean, I think the value proposition of Secret Network is truly, like I said, allowing and empowering developers to build applications that are privacy preserving, or at least have the option of being privacy preserving. Without that option, I don't think the Web3, experiment will be successful. I really don't think it'll be successful without privacy. We've seen blockchain and crypto just be like one giant experiment, and thinking forward to the future, I just don't see it working and attracting the big institutional players and enterprises and hedge funds and things like that without addressing privacy. I don't see it happening. So that's my pitch for, the broader crypto ecosystem. If we're talking just a DeFi user or something like that, having privacy for their own assets, is a huge plus. They don't get that in any other DeFi network. Low swap fees. We were talking earlier about these high Ethereum fees. On Secret Network, you're getting more BSC type swap fees. It has that same caliber of fee. And there's huge APYs right now. If you go to that SEFI page, you saw that, a lot of the liquidity providing returns right now are over 200% APY, which is insane. The TVL is like skyrocketing. It just continues to go up. It's a severely undervalued project for the amount of transactions on the network, for the TVL on the network. There's just so many reasons that I feel it's really undervalued right now from an investment standpoint. So, you can talk about what my pitch would be. It would depend on who the person is. Is that person a developer? Are they an institution? Are they an enterprise looking to use blockchain for any reason? Or are they just like a DeFi degen that wants to earn absurd APYs?
Yeah, I mean, we have plenty of those in our audience for sure, but I think that's perfect because it is something that isn't talked about as much. That's why I asked about if you guys have a lot of competitors, because strangely, this is, in my view, a big issue. I mean, privacy and finance are supposed to go together, and the biggest gain, I think, from cryptocurrency is that you don't have to deal with the same kind of KYC, traditional banking infrastructure type questions to open an account with Secret Network versus opening an account with a bank. And you can earn much higher returns opening an account with Secret than, say, getting a 0.05% interest rate on your savings account. So I do think that adding the privacy component is essential, and it does make it a good something that I see as being even more in demand in the future as DeFi grows. So to that point, I guess my last question in that vein is about scalability. So right now, you guys are dealing with like 20-cent fees. I mean, that's amazing. Do you see being able to continue to maintain that if everybody in DeFi were to suddenly want to use Secret?
Yeah, scalability is definitely a hot topic. Not only in the broader crypto and blockchain ecosystem, but also in our own ecosystem. Full transparency. With the launch of SEFI, it was very successful. We saw our transactions per day and our transactions per second go through the roof as people tried to claim the SEFI airdrop, and then they were trying to stake liquidity pairs, to earn the APYs that are on this page that you're on right now. So we saw a huge influx on the network of transactions and users trying to, perform functions in the network. And in full transparency, we uncovered some issues with that. Now, from a strictly protocol level scalability, I don't think it's an issue. Cosmos SDK and a lot of those Tendermint chains, they do have pretty high transactional output. It's higher than Ethereum. So from a protocol level, I don't see it being an issue, and as time goes on and more transactions are done on the network, the validator set can be expanded, and I don't see a problem with it there. Where we did run into some scalability issues or just some issues in general was because Secret Network has this privacy function, and because it uses viewing keys for users to be able to view their own balances and things like that, we saw some unique API call load balancing issues where like the front end, because there were so many people making requests to create viewing keys and things like that, the APIs that were set up on the network were overloaded and they weren't properly load balanced and things like that for that amount of transactions. So the developers have been working a lot, spinning up new APIs and endpoints for kind of the front end stuff. So we actually saw the issues were more on the front end than at the protocol level.
Cool, that makes sense. And I feel like that's a common problem. I can't tell you, from every project I've ever worked with, at some point or another, people are complaining that the APYs aren't perfect. It seems, because there's a number of reasons that can influence that. So it's like, it just seems like that's the rub with any project. But no, that makes sense.
Yeah. What was happening was there were so many requests to create viewing keys and to claim the SEFI and everything. The network kept pinging the APIs, and the APIs are run on nodes,
Mm-hmm.
So then those nodes are they're DDoSing themselves, right? And then what happened was they were starting to miss blocks. Because of that, they'd miss a block here and there, and it was just causing this weird like error situation where there would be some errors because the nodes would fall out of sync because they were DDoSing themselves. So it was really, it was a good problem to have, right? If you break your protocol because you have so many transactions, yes, it's bad, and everyone goes, "Oh my God, can this handle the load in the future?" But it's hard. You want to build incrementally, right? It's a really good problem to have. You typically don't build something so big that it can take on like infinite, number of transactions right away. You typically scale based on demand. So I think we're approaching it in the right way.
I think so too. I mean, and if you're in DeFi, you have to expect a certain level of that to some degree. I remember when Badger launched, and I was really excited about the project. Said, "Oh, this looks great. This looks like it's going to be great." But I remember people were complaining when they were doing the launch on the first day in the airdrop because you couldn't see things accurately. Like the APYs weren't displaying right. People couldn't tell where their position was. And obviously it's a new project. You want to know you're not depositing your money into a void.
Yeah.
But you also kind of expect that too. It's a lot of projects deal with that when they're just getting going, and there can be little issues with displays. But as long as you're not depositing your money into a void or it isn't spilling out and some exploiter is taking all your liquidity, then I'm happy with that.
Yep.
How many people do you have on your team, like not including the secret agents?
So it depends what you mean by team, right? So
I would say like devs, I guess a node operator like you. I'm not sure if everyone who's a node operator is necessarily considered part of the team, but
right.
marketing, everything like that, where somebody is in some kind of important position, I suppose.
The protocol level development is done by Enigma, and they're just one company on the network, right? So Enigma, I don't know how big exactly their team is. I think they have like 7 or 8 developers and people on their team. And they're doing like the protocol level work for secret contracts. They did launch Secret Swap. They were the team behind that. But then there's 50 validators on the network, right? So there's 50 people like me out there that run validators who also have people on their teams. They have developers doing things like block explorers, data hubs, running test nets, putting forth proposals to do things like secret NFT marketplaces. There's tons of activity right now, and there's all kinds of teams that are spinning up, as well as you have the Secret Foundation, which is kind of organized as a central coordinating body for the whole network. They're kind of tasked with making sure all the validators and all the development teams and everything is operating, with each other's best interest in mind. And they're also making sure that the resources of the network are distributed to the various teams who need them. So the foundation right now has 3 full-time employees. They have job postings out right now, for example, for a director of marketing and some other positions. And then you have going even, one step down from kind of the Enigma team, the foundation, the validators and developer teams. Then we have a committee structure, which is very much like community based. I lead actually one of the committees, the awareness committee, and there's a few other committees. And those committees are tasked with things like design. There's a website committee run by Sandy of Stake or Die. There's an infrastructure committee. There's an education committee, which is tasked with creating a lot of the infographics and educational materials to help investors understand the network and help developers build on the network. Yeah, it's crazy, man. The ecosystem is growing. There's over 500 secret agents now.
Jesus.
There's like 12,000 people in the Discord, most of which aren't bots. In a lot of other projects, you just see fake bots and activity everywhere. In our network, I think a lot of the numbers are real numbers in terms of our channels and whatnot.
Well, so I wanted to play a video real quick because it kind of brings up a couple more questions for me. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick.
Is it one of the secret seconds ones? Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Love it. Nice.
The internet is always growing. More users in more places are accessing the internet than ever. And thanks to blockchain technology, the internet is also decentralizing, with users becoming more empowered and taking more ownership. There's not just one blockchain, but many, all helping create more opportunities and solve different problems. But all of these blockchains have one big problem in common. They're public by default, with no privacy for their users. This threatens the security of everyone using blockchain technology, making it harder to spend, trade, or build safely. That's why we built Secret Network. It's a new kind of blockchain that's designed to be a data privacy hub for all other blockchains. Secret Network is unique because it is private by default, keeping application data encrypted even while in use, while still allowing it to be shared when needed. Secret Network is also built for interoperability, meaning every user from every blockchain can benefit from Secret's unique technology. Because of its privacy and security protections, Secret Network is already becoming a hub for blockchain-based commerce, from trading to private auctions to lending and more. We invite everyone from every ecosystem to come explore Secret Network for themselves and contribute their knowledge to our community. The blockchain universe will never stop expanding, and neither will we. Join us and help us build a more secure and decentralized future for all users. Help us build Secret Network.
That was pretty cool.
I love, we have a great video producer, a community member, Julian, who runs a production company called Walking Frames, does those. I really love those videos.
So one of the things that brought up, it mentioned bringing multiple blockchains over. So right now, are there other tokens that can be brought over besides like ETH tokens and other like, like I assume there's like secret based app tokens. Is that correct at this point? Or has anyone started particularly building on secret network itself?
So there's lots of projects that are building on Secret Network right now. I can't talk about all of them. There's things like secret NFT marketplaces. There's a pool together type clone being built, and a couple other community-based projects being built. We did see the first launch of a very big project on the network, and that was Sienna Network. And Sienna Network is doing something similar to what Secret Swap performs. They're doing, privacy-focused DeFi and lending and swapping. So Sienna had a big, raise recently. They raised on Polkastarter and some of those other launchpad platforms, and I think they're priced at like something close to like 10x, like right away. So that was really exciting for the network, and it shows that projects can launch on the network. So that was really exciting to see.
So for now, like you couldn't bring over like I'm a fan of VeChain. So you couldn't bring over VeChain and make it secret VeChain right now, is that right?
So yeah, I guess I didn't answer the other part of your question there. I was just thinking about like products that have actually launched, but these bridges, we do have the Ethereum bridge that's live now. So, you can bring over Ethereum and other supported ERC20 assets. We have a BSC bridge on testnet right now. So that should be launching any day now. I would maybe expect it this week. So that will allow, everyone to bring in their BSC assets from like PancakeSwap and stuff like that. We have a Monero bridge that's being built, which is pretty cool. So it's a, privacy-related proof of work token, huge in the privacy realm. So having the ability to, swap your Monero in a completely privacy-preserving way from start to finish, that's really exciting. We have a Polkadot bridge being built by the Plasm team that will allow us to bridge into the DOT ecosystem. And recently in the last hackathon that we participated in, there was a team that started building a Matic bridge for Matic as well.
So since you mentioned Binance, that brings up something else. So Binance recently has just been flooded with shitcoins. I don't know if you keep up with that, but it seems like there's new tokens, like probably like 100 popping out every day lately. Do you see something like that happening? Like when you have the Binance bridge, do you think that's going to be like, a bunch of that kind of stuff is going to be brought over? And then also when people are able to build more on Secret, do you think it's going to be flooded with shitcoins?
I don't think we'll see an influx of shitcoins come over on the bridge necessarily, especially not right away. A lot of the decisions for bringing things into the ecosystem are based upon what tokens and have the strongest communities and what projects have the strongest development and things like that. There is some dev work that's involved in deciding what project is supported and what the bridge can support. It's not a ton of dev work. I think, it's a matter of like a couple hours or something like that to support a project. But there's going to be, a governance process behind that. It's probably going to be, I believe it's going to be governed by the SEFI token holders. So they're going to be the ones ultimately deciding what assets are supported on Secret Swap and the Secret Finance ecosystem. So I guess if the SeFi holders, want to see Shiba Inu and SafeMoon and whatever the heck else the flavors of the day are, nothing's going to stop them once the governance for SeFi is issued. But I find that our community is pretty tech savvy and pretty mature. So I don't see it happening. But
you don't think there's going to be a rocket bridge?
Hey, actually, with the whole privacy thing, there's a use case for secret network to be said about the adult industry, right? You have platforms like OnlyFans. One thing we've thrown around there in kind of just passing conversation is like a secret fans, and using completely private payments for a adult content website. Or another interesting use case is secret NFTs. We've been really focused on DeFi because I know you guys are big DeFi guys, but secret NFTs is another huge use case for our network, and allowing for programmable access control. A problem with NFTs right now on Ethereum and all these other public chains is, so you post the NFT or whatever it is to something like IPFS, right? But the smart contract itself, when someone buys that NFT, say it's a piece of music or something, that smart contract is then just releasing a link to the person that bought it. There's nothing stopping that person from sharing that link, right? It's just like when you could burn a CD back in the day.
Yeah.
But with secret network, you could create viewing keys and do access control to where only the person that holds that viewing key can view that piece of content. So it's actually a huge, huge, huge use case for our network that I think is going a little bit under the radar right now, is some of this NFT and programmable access control and stuff like that. I don't think people are really catching on to how big that could be.
I'm pretty interested in the use case of NFTs as concert tickets. It was something I had actually been brainstorming with Robin, a couple other people before I heard that actually Phoenix DAO is working on this exact kind of model. But what kind of brought me to thinking this would be necessary is me and Robin used to work back in events promotion back in the day. And not only do I think it would kind of change the legalities of the situation, because it's like once you charge people for tickets, like the types of permits you need to have for your event, all that kind of goes up. But it's also like when you think of issues like Burning Man or people scalping tickets, like these common issues you hear about again and again with tickets the way that they are. If you could have them established as NFTs, it would be way more secure. And then if the original buyer resold the ticket, technically you could set that so that money is constantly going back to the event. So when you combine in the nature of secret network and being able to just keep that information private, well, I don't want everybody in the world knowing every concert I go to. I don't want everyone knowing about the rave I went to last Saturday. So it would make sense that some kind of secret layer over that would be necessary in the future.
You just hit one of them right on the head. I forget I forget the term that we used to refer to that one, but I think it was like event-based. It was something along the lines of like event-based NFTs, and that was exactly it. Experience-based NFTs, maybe that was it. Like events and other things that could be like unlocked based on certain experiences, but you wouldn't want necessarily all of your experiences or events to be public, just like you said, right?
Right.
Yeah. So some people like their privacy. I could buy that ticket to Taylor Swift, and that may be okay, but anyone who sees my ticket to Taylor Swift may also see that I attended like a swingers party the week before.
You're gonna wrap the Taylor Swift ticket and swap it for a Slayer ticket.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's a great use case, and I know there were some projects that were doing the NFT ticketing thing. I know there was a project Block Party a while back. I think they changed their name to NFT Protocol now, but they were doing ticketing on the blockchain.
And you had mentioned like SEFI. So just to make sure, like the secret token, that's actually like basically like ETH. That's like the currency itself, right? And then
Yep.
SEFI is the voting token, right?
Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of different tokens in our ecosystem and it really gets confusing. And I should probably do a video on that actually, now that you bring this up. But so Secret itself, SCRT, is like your Ethereum. It is the gas of the secret network. It's used for the secret contracts that run on the network. Now, all of the other tokens like the wrapped ETH and the wrapped secret, so there's secret or secret ETH, those are like wrapped privacy preserving versions of tokens. And then you have SEFI, which is a secret token. It's one of those wrapped tokens in that it does have the privacy features, but you can think of it like a uni token on Ethereum. So SEFI is its own token. It's its own governance token, like a uni or a sushi on the Ethereum network.
And then I noticed you guys had launched a game recently called Secret Heroes. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I had tried to go play it. It didn't seem to be working for me. I wasn't sure if that was me or if it was like other issues or what was going on.
Yeah, so, okay. Secret Heroes is pretty cool. That was a hackathon concept project that was built for a hackathon. And the idea behind Secret Heroes was to showcase some of the use case of Secret Network for NFTs. And what the team was trying to demonstrate with Secret Heroes, there's a really great graphic I'll send you guys after this as well that we created. But on Ethereum and other public blockchains, gaming is really hard to do on chain. Like, the state of the game is completely public to everyone. You always need to keep that in mind. There's no privacy, and therefore everyone can see the state of everything that's going on. So if I'm, playing poker, for example, everyone can see my hand on the chain, and that's not good for gaming, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're doing gaming on blockchain, a lot of these companies that are claiming to do gaming on blockchain, a lot of the actual game logic and stuff like that is not being done on chain. It's being done off chain by a centralized server. Like, all the matching up opponents, all the turn-based stuff, it's either done in a commit reveal schema where like both players commit and then they have to like reveal their turns like one by one, because that state is public. So Secret Network allows the state of the game to go into this black box or this secret contract. So what Secret Heroes was a very simple use case. It allowed people to mint heroes, and we did a huge airdrop for this. And it looks like it's not connecting here.
Do I need to set, like, because this says set, do I need to like set tokens and stuff or press?
Click the Keplr button again.
Like up here?
Yeah, click that again. Let's see if that works. And while that's loading, I guess I'll finish the rest of this. But so what Secret Heroes does is allow players to mint heroes that have 4 unique abilities with different skill levels for each of those abilities. It then matches the heroes up against one another. It chooses randomly a ability, and then whatever hero has the higher skill in that ability is deemed the winner. And all of that gameplay logic is done on chain in a secret contract. And that is the kicker, as opposed to like any game that's built on the Ethereum network or anything. You can't put that game logic on chain. On Secret Network, you can.
What drives partnerships, I guess, with Secret Network?
Sure. I mean, so what we try to encourage in terms of partnership is anyone that's building with any need for data privacy whatsoever. As I've kind of talked about in this interview, there's a lot of different use cases which may require privacy for just one aspect of a game or an application or a DeFi ecosystem, you know, so anyone that's needing privacy for any aspect of this could be a potential partner. It could be transactional privacy. It could be ownership privacy. It could be, you know, privacy of NFTs. It could be something gaming related like game state. It could be, you know, anything that is privacy related.
Yeah, we're basically shared stakes in ETH2 staking protocol, basically allowing users to deposit less than 32 ETH, but still participate collectively in like a validator.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if there's anything that specifically comes to mind or not, but I mean, I would expect that anybody eventually wanting to participate in as a validator, since that is almost like having a bank account, you know, almost like a savings, that you wouldn't want some degree of privacy with it. So I'm sure there could be something, but I'm not sure exactly what. That's kind of where we have to talk to our developers and be like, what do you guys want? What could open some doors for you? Because how it makes sense to us, not being in development, might not make sense to them.
Well, one of my last questions basically ties into the secret agent programs. You said how many secret agents do you have now?
Yeah, over 500 secret agents now.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think when I got in, there was like 30 or 40, maybe. I don't know. It was pretty small. Like, it's definitely a program that has grown considerably. And like, what is one of the main ways that you've been able to grow that?
Yeah, I think the secret agents program is really unique in the blockchain space. It's kind of like one of my babies, I like to call it. And the whole idea behind the secret agent program is to use it as an onboarding program for people coming into the ecosystem. So the idea is to bring in new people to the community, provide them with a training roadmap almost. So if you go to agents.scrt.network, actually that may be a really good place to show people. But essentially what we want to do is get people into the ecosystem, and then we want to educate them on the protocol. So there's a series of secret missions, we call them, where people are educating themselves and spreading awareness on the network. So if you click that mission control there, you'll kind of see this mission path. And if you go to agent missions here, so, you know, they start off very low engagement level, right? It's fill out the form, check out the website, invite a friend, kind of doing some referral stuff. And these missions progressively grow. They try to educate someone on the network. And as people are doing this, they're earning points and they're earning ranks. And we have different secret agent ranks with different rewards that are issued to different secret agents as they rank up in this program. There's also things like daily missions that are more time sensitive. So if a big piece of news comes out and we really want to spread that news on Twitter, for example, I may spin up a daily mission to help spread that piece of news, and I may reward people in secret for helping to complete that mission. So it's a really cool program that like not only incentivizes people to get involved, to, you know, do tasks for the network and kind of have fun as they're doing it, but they also earn rewards and reputation as they're doing it. Another really cool thing is, and Christopher, you're actually helping with this, is when someone obtains the rank of secret agent, so when they obtain 1,000 points, they get the rank of secret agent, and we're also going to issue a secret agent NFT to every single secret agent.
Awesome. Yep. I was going to ask a little more about that info. So yeah, that's going to the people who achieve the rank of secret agent. So does it show like where those are, like the rankings?
So go to click home. And if you scroll down, you can kind of see the, so those are the various ranks. And as you saw, the missions have different amounts of points. The daily missions are 5 points each. And then there's also, you can get points for doing like special projects. And, those are usually through committees. If you go to a committee meeting or something, there's a lot of open projects. Maybe it's creating an infographic for something. If you create that infographic, you may be rewarded, XYZ number of points as well. So you can see we have 3 secret agents. Actually, we have 4 members that have obtained 1,000 points and the rank of secret agent. There's a few more on the way, but I expect that this program is really going to start taking off here, because previously the rewards for obtaining different ranks, I had promised them to the community, but I hadn't announced them. So they are now official and they are being paid out. And I expect that when people see that they're being paid out, that more participation will come from that.
Mm-hmm. And then how do you handle, like, I know when I've like done some of the agent work, I've like had the secret tip bot come up. How do you do something like that? Is that like an automated thing, or is that something like that? Is it you that handles that?
Yeah. So the tip bot is something that the validator SG1 created for the network. They put together a governance proposal for this tip bot. It allows you to tip to load up a wallet with some secret, obviously not the most safe wallet, because it's, it's not on a ledger and you don't hold the keys to it and things like that. But it allows you to load a wallet up with a certain amount of secret, and it allows you to tip like a username on Twitter directly from your own Twitter account. All I have to do is tweet someone and I can send them secret. Yeah, it's really cool. So what I do is I just load up my Twitter account with, a bunch of secret, and as secret agents are performing these missions, I'm out there monitoring Twitter, kind of rewarding them for completing these missions. And a lot of it is done manually. A lot of it I do track. There's a form that is actually on this website that people fill out when they complete a mission. And what happens is that form feeds into a Google spreadsheet, and I have to go through the spreadsheet and kind of reward each agent for different things. So.
Well, the last thing, so our guest the other day was the creator of an NFT series called Damn Tasty Corn Chips. And
Nice.
we were getting on we were talking about art a little bit, since he's an artist. And I happened to mention like the secret project. And he was like, "Oh, do you want me to drop a secret agent corn chip?" So
Nice.
yeah, he did. And here it is. This is Jason Corn.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Jason Corn.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked. I woke up to it this morning.
Oh man, maybe we'll have to make that one of the NFTs that we give away.
Yeah, I think he'd definitely be down. He loves like collaboration stuff. He's done that like with a few people. So yeah, I'm sure he would definitely be down.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I think that's about all I've got.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Anything else you wanted to share with our audience, or how will people get in contact with you?
Sure. I encourage everyone to, follow the Secret Network on all the social channels. I assume you guys will link them in the description of the video.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can find the secret website at scrt.network. Go there. There should be a version 2 coming out of the website soon. Follow us on Twitter at Secret Network. There you go. As well as follow Whispernode if you want to follow my escapades in tweeting the secret agent rewards out, all the time. And definitely, if you're interested in the network after you, kind of check out the Twitter and check out the main website, definitely join us in the Secret Agent program. It's really fun. It's an awesome way to get involved with the community, meet other people, collaborate, get educated about the protocol and blockchain in general, and earn some rewards for doing so. So that can be found at agents.scrt.network. I'd love to see you guys come on board.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it. I know you're pretty busy right now.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we got some news we got to spread around. Secret Swap V2 is officially launched. So
Is
time
there
to spread that
is there
news.
anything like different that people would need to do in comparison to V1? Do you have to port stuff over, or does it automatically do so?
It automatically does so. It's mostly just UI upgrades. It's got dark mode now. It looks a lot prettier. There was a lot of functionality and performance issues that were changed. And then the APYs, if you didn't notice, are like we talked about earlier on this call, there are a lot of them that are over 200% right now. So there was definitely an effort to attract more DeFi investment. So
Awesome.
Great.
cool.
Well, thank you again. You have a good one.
All
Take
right.
care.
Thanks, guys. Have a good
Later.
one. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Bye.